Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're discussing the latest compilation album from the Dreamville record label. This one is entitled Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Of course, this is the third installment in the Revenge of the Dreamers series. We have what seems like a million features and collaborating artists on here. A lot are from the Dreamville label, some outside the label. We get Vince Staples, Ty Dolla $ign, as well as a number of producers too. This album came together over the course of 10 days back in January, with the exception of the song Middle Child, which was recorded as a standalone J. Cole song back at the tail end of 2018. Now with that comes a lot of appeal and hype for the Dreamville record label. I know myself personally, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for J. Cole. But coming into this album, I was setting the bar really low, also knowing that J. Cole's latest solo project didn't go over so well in my opinion. I felt like he brought a lot of the same flows and vocal deliveries, which were recycled and rehashed over and over again in very bland ways. However, after announcing that J. Cole was teaming up with a bunch of other talented artists, namely from the Dreamville label, such as Boz and Jid, those are the two artists that I know a bit more compared to the others on this project. Once that announcement was made, I was renewed this sense of enthusiasm and excitement, possibly owing to the fact that J. Cole wouldn't have to be the front and center piece or the focal point of the album. Now, I will admit, I don't have background when it comes to the first two Revenge of the Dreamers projects, so everything I'll be saying here in this review will be a bit of its own thing. I have nothing really to compare it to, relatively speaking. All I know and want out of a collaboration hip-hop album, especially with the magnitude of this specific project here, is something to showcase a little bit of the talent and skill from the other artists along with J. Cole. And well, I think this album delivers for the most part, and it gives me a little bit more than I could have asked, given that I was a little hesitant coming into it. This album starts off on a very strong note. We get the track Under the Sun, which has this old soul vibe going for it, which kind of sticks around during the hook, where we get this uncredited Kendrick Lamar feature, and yeah, I love it. Everything builds on top of that, and then we go into the track Down Bad, which has a very catchy refrain, very unique instrumental for hip-hop. I have to say that tracks 2, 13, and 14 have very unique beats, and that track 2 in particular, Down Bad, is a solid choice for a single. It's a bit more accessible, but it still is showcasing the eccentric side of the hip-hop instrumental. It really is just a great example of collaboration between multiple rappers. We have them pushing each other to their creative ends, trying to one-up one another without being hostile, because after all, they are on the same record label. And what really impresses me is how J. Cole legitimately sounds like he's having fun. Jid and Boz just make this track unforgettable, and Down Bad will be one of the best songs of the year. Moving on from there, we get the song Lambo Truck, which I really enjoy because it brings a new style to the table for this project. It gives it a bit more of this southern flavor, and it sounds like it could have been off a Big Crit project. The track Oh Wow Swerve has a good beat and flow to it. The only thing I find myself questioning is the fade out at the end of the song during the last rapper's verse. And then we fall into one of the more underwhelming songs on the project with Don't Hit Me Right Now, which has a pretty gross vocal performance, a very understated, weak hook, and it's over top of this bland instrumental. However, this project kind of pulls itself out of that rut with the song Wells Fargo, where we get more of this aggressive vocal performance and this hook that reminds me of this aggressive style Denzel Curry track. The album then travels into a different sonic direction with a few songs on here. Sleep Deprived, Got Me, and Self Love. These are tracks that feel a bit more laid back. They are lush and slick with their instrumentals. For me, these songs come out of nowhere. It might screw up the pacing for some of you while you listen to it, and it's not that the female artists are horrible, it's just, it sounds weird to slow things down after we've had the males push the envelope with an aggressive song with Wells Fargo before heading into those. Then we move into the track Costa Rica, which is simply a song bragging about having fans in Costa Rica, just the international appeal of this group. It sounds like Omerta by Drake, which was put out earlier this year. However, my bigger issue with this song is the collaboration and how there's too many cooks in the kitchen, as that saying goes. There's just way too many people on this song for it to be like this 3.5 minute length. Really, outside of those gripes and criticisms, this album ends on the same kind of note that it began with, very strongly. We have the track 1993. It has J. Cole's best verse on the project, in my opinion. It also has a hard beat, and it's very well produced. We get a track after that with Middle Child, which is the lone artist of J. Cole on here. It was a single that was released back in January. It might feel a little out of place just knowing that's been out for so long. I would have preferred seeing it on a J. Cole album. Still, either way, I love it. And even if it doesn't fit into the overall vibe or the cohesion of the project, it's still an amazing song. Then we get the cut PTSD, which is very catchy and funny, and the closer, Sacrifices. This one has a surround sound vocal delivery or spacing to it. It's very Logic or Meek Mill inspired, except it actually sounds pretty good. So overall, I gotta say that this Dreamville project is quite good, in my opinion. There are a number of really good songs on here, a lot of great ones. There are some mediocre and just songs where I just lose a bit of interest, and that goes for a lot of rap albums. When I do listen to them, I find myself kind of losing that interest when it comes to the hour-plus long run times. However, I do want to emphasize that this is a good collaboration between artists that I didn't really see myself enjoying as much as I did here. So for rating this album, I would give it a 7 out of 10, and I'd recommend it for anyone who is into J. Cole and wants to learn a bit more about the Dreamville record label. Now sound off down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and what you think of this album. Did it live up to your expectations? Is it something you're going to want to check out? Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day.